What is up, Poke Peeps and Masters? It is Russ here, PokeRuss here, and we are back for another Deck Tech. Well, it's not Tuesday, but Deck Tech. Deck Tech is a series where we go over a deck, sometimes Dragon Ball, sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Dueling if you've seen any of the videos this week. But this time it's Dragon Ball, and we're going to dive into a Ginyu Force team. So, when you think of Ginyu Force, who do you think of as a good leader for the Ginyu Force? Frieza, Ginyu. How about Caulifla? Let's talk about that. So, we're going to be talking about Caulifla Ginyu. So, Caulifla Ginyu is a spicy tech on the Ginyu Force deck because the Ginyu Force has a lot of spam power, but it lacks that in strength unless you get Ginyu on the field. But then, you'll see. So, first we have our leader, Caulifla, right? So Caulifla, active main, once per turn, choose one card in your life and add it to your hand, so free of Self-Awakening. Then all your non-black battle cards gain plus 5,000 for the duration of the turn. When you have 4 or less life, draw 2 cards, flip this card over. Go bam! And you have Caulifla running wild. So she pretty much has the same effect. Take 1 life, add it to hand. Choose this card. Oh, this side choose this card? Yeah. So both sides chooses this card and all non-black battle cards that gain plus 5,000 per turn. And when this card attacks, draws the cards. Self-Awakening, pretty strong, pretty crazy, and she boosts everybody on field. So the one thing about the Ginyus is they're all sitting at... All the Ginyus are sitting at 10,000 power, which can compete with a non-awakened leader. But soon as you get awakened, especially with like Raccoon, you gotta do the combos and the stuff. This saves you from having to super extra combo. So you only have to combo normally. So, which is super nice. So we're gonna start off with Guldo here. Guldo, the questionably strongest. I don't know. Their powers, if explored more in this day, I think could be super powerful. But because of when they came out, obviously they were weak. So this one has Barrier. Turn 2. When you play this card from your hand, if all your battle cards are red and no other color, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose 1 red Ginyu Force with an entry cost of 2 other than Strike Force Guldo and play it. Place this card, then place the rest of the cards in the bottom of the deck in any order. So, pretty cool. This is pretty much the start of your chain. You can start with any of them. It really doesn't matter. But all the Ginyu Force members kind of special summons another one, which is super nice. So he's the Barrier one. He's kind of like, I needed the extra Ginyus to make numbers. This one is Next is Burter. Burter has the same effect if all of your battle cards are only red. Top 5 cards for Ginyu other than Burter, put into play. Boom. Turn 2 or less, right? Or turn 2 exactly. Doesn't say or less. Turn 2. So, but this bad boy has critical. Okay, so you can see the growth here, right? And then we have Raccoon, the powerhouse, having double strike. So, and same effect if you have only red cards, boom, boom, grab a Burter or a Guldo from the top 5 cards of your deck, put it into play, right? So obviously you kind of like Guldo, or you kind of like Burter and Raccoon, right? They're the ones that you're probably going to be wanting to attack with. Well, each turn while you're Self-Awakening, that makes them 1,500. So especially when your opponent's unawakened, that's pretty devastating for a double strike turn 2. What? And a critical turn 2 with 15,000 power? What? Absolutely crazy. Pretty awesome and strong. And they only get stronger with their leader, Body Change Captain Ginyu. So, Body Change Captain Ginyu, when you play this card, choose all Ginyu Force cards in your battle area, and they gain 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So all of these become 20,000 base. Then with her boost, 25,000. Critical, double strike. What? So he boosts them all into crazy number territory. Then, after you've done your little dance with them, you get to steal one of their cards. What else could you ask for? So this just boosts them up to great heights and with Self-Awakening. So you don't even need. So this because of this, you have Self-Awakening without having to play the turn 1s and stuff like that, or turn 3s. So you have open plays to play your Ginyu Force pretty much every turn. So, to support that, we run Frieza's Spaceship. 4 copies of Frieza's Spaceship. Frieza's Spaceship's pretty freaking snazzy in the fact that it costs 2 red, and at the end of each of your turns, you can put into play a turn 2 or less Frieza's Army. Red Frieza's Army card. With a cost of 2. Not 2 or less, 2. And put into play, and then you draw a card. So, plus is used, you play this turn 2, at the end of your turn 2, like, you free play a birder from your hand, the birder's effect goes off, you potentially get to play a free Raccoon, you just got 2 guys on field, and you drew a card. Absolutely insane. Crazy. Just absolute pluses. To go with this, just in case you don't have your Ginyu Force the way you like them, you also have 2 Zarbon. Pretty standard. And so you're looking at this deck and you're like, Russ, PokeRuss, I see what you're trying to do, but this deck has a huge hole in it. Huge hole. 2 huge holes, actually. 2 huge bullet holes that Bandai has created for itself, right? And I tell you, we have the answers. So, there's 2 big cards that really hate this deck, or like hate on this deck. You have your turn 1 Black Mass Saiyan, and you have your turn 2 Goku striving to be the best. So, to get rid of those, we have things like After Image to get rid of. You have your Negates, your After Images to get rid of the Black Mass Saiyan. You also have your Fortune Teller Babas. You summon these guys. They're pretty cheap, awesome. It gives a boost to somebody, aka your Ginyu Force. And then you can combo with this to give something minus 5,000 for the duration of the turn. So you give it to the Black Mass Saiyan. Done. So those cards kind of handle that, as well as the next card, which handles both. You have Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. This is your turn 3 play. If you don't want to Ginyu, if you're sitting there and your opponent has Goku striving to be the best, or Black Mass Saiyan or something like that, you drop this big bad boy, you attack into them, they negate it, right? He automatically untaps. Now he's 2,500 swinging into them. They're not saving it. They're not saving it. This gets rid of it. Also, if you happen to have Raccoon on a field, you can pop Raccoon Ultra Bomber. If you have a Raccoon in play in your battle area, choose. This is active main, so you can do it on your turn. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 1,500 power or less, ignoring barrier and KO. So this gets rid of both problems as well. So if you happen to have a Raccoon already on field, or if they didn't kill your Raccoon somehow during their turn, you have answers to that. Plus, this can also hit Black Mass Saiyan too. So there's your answers to those issues, which is, I think, pretty strong. You have 3 After Images. I can go over the numbers. 3 After Images, 2 Babas, 2 Raccoons, and 3 Glory Obsessed Vegeta. You could probably drop this down to 2 Glory Obsessed Vegeta, but I just kind of wanted that extra consistency, because it is a big hole in the deck, having a huge part of your deck rely on your turn 2 plays. So, another fancy strat in the deck is if you really want to go aggro and just hit hard really fast, you have these as your Self-Awakeners in the trunks, these trunks, so you can pretty much awaken by turn 2 if you wanted. And then you have Chain Attack. With Chain Attack, we don't have the standard Zeno in this deck, but you can go into for 2 costs. So, like, say your opponent has the curve, and you're just like, okay, before I Spaceship, I kind of want to get rid of these threats. You can turn to Special Summon this off Chain Attack Zeno. You can Special Summon Ginyu off of Chain Attack Zeno. Obviously, you wouldn't end up with Mass Saiyan on the field, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to get rid of, like, the Goku striving to be the best, you could cheat them out on turn 2 and just kind of get rid of the threat right there if they went first. So that's a cool thing. So you can go body change Ginyu off of that, so you can potentially only pay 2 to summon this, give a boost to everybody, and just have extra mana or have extra energy to go crazy with. To finish off the deck, you have 2 Foreseeing Hits. These are used to pretty much snipe, set you up for the endgame snipes. You summon this. You eat cards from their hand. It just prevents them from doing what they need to do during their turn. We have 1 copy of the brand new Secret, the Frieza's Army Reborn. With this, you're pretty much eating your own life every turn, so it's easy to kind of get to 2 and manage yourself from 2 with all the negates you have. With the 3 After Images, that kind of lets you hold off if you need to, and then drop this when you have a free 5 mana, because you're going to be at 2 life, and then rip a card from their hand, destroy everything on their side of the board, and then if you have plenty of Ginyus on field, like, you just smash in the face. I mean, what else can you ask for? Next, we have 2 copies of Unbreakable. Because of the combination of Freeze a Spaceship, after turn 2, you usually have a couple extra mana to dance with. If you're not summoning your Ginyu, or if you're summoning it cheaper with the Trunks, or doing any of that other stuff, if you're not hitting on curve, you're able to Unbreakable, which is super nice. It adds extra cards to your hand. Deck thinning is deck winning. I've heard that's pretty much somewhere pretty fancy. In the same aspect, you don't really have a turn 1 play unless you really want to go for that aggro Trunks play. So in that case, you also have Double Shot Vegeta. Pretty standard, gets a body on field pretty quickly to threaten them with aggro plays. Pretty nice. Pretty much, it sets up a play where they kind of have to want to get rid of it, so they're going to have to do different plays than what they want to do. That's all about, like, this not circumvents, but it deviates them from wanting to go the things that really, if that makes any sense. So they might, instead of summoning their Striving Goku striving to be the best, or their Black Mass Saiyan, well, they might summon their Black Mass Saiyan because they get the boost, but instead of those options, they might go with something else to try to get rid of this, spending their mana in a slightly different way, so you can get that extra turn that you need for Freeze the Spaceship to do what it needs to do. And last but not least, we play our 4 sideline assist Bulma, your Self-Awakening. I mean, this is pretty much your best super combo. You don't need anything other than that. The only other thing you could add to this deck, if you wanted to be a bit more defensive while you set up, is because you're running Caulifla, you can run the blocker Kale that gets free played, but it's another card that also gets, again, hit by that Black Mass Saiyan and stuff like that. So if you don't want to curve too much into that, or if you see your opponent's not playing it, you can kind of side it turn 2, game 2 if you want, if you need a little bit more defense or something like that. But that's another card you can look into for this deck. So this is the Caulifla Ginyu deck. I think it's pretty freaking aggro. Testing it, I think it tests really well. That power boost just does so much, especially with this power boost plus the Ginyu power boost. It just becomes so much super quickly. It makes things like it makes this a 15. Like, so you're like on turn 2, you drop a Ginyu plus this, you pop its effect. You have 2 15s. If you drop, if it's Birder and you summon the Raccoon, you have three 1500s that they're sitting on a 10,000 like leader, and it's just absolutely crazy. So you get that early advantage super quickly, and because of that early advantage, if they decide to block or they decide to get out of it in some way, they've just wasted hand, and you kind of go from there. So that's the deck. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. I think Caulifla really does make a great leader. I think this is the deck that Caulifla's kind of been waiting for. I think Caulifla's definitely been underrated. If you have any other underrated leaders that you think should see more light, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys have any suggestions for any decks, let me know in the comment section down below. I do take user submitted decks. We have a Discord, there's an email that will be in the description box down below as well, or you can leave it in the comment section if you have a deck that you just kind of want to see previewed on the channel. Like, maybe you have a little spice that you have that you kind of just want to see shown off, and like, maybe people will look into it and maybe make it better or something. Like, this is user submission, as well as me and my buddies come up with these ideas. So always submit your stuff, always give your input. I'm always interested to hear it, so let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, we have Dragon Ball Super, we have Dokkan Battle, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Dueling, and a teeny bit of Pokemon here and there on the channel. If any of that tickles your fancy, we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at 700, so we're grinding it out. If you, like I said, if any of this tickles your fancy, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, guys. PokeRuss out. Peace.